Imagine you're just going about your everyday life, visiting a local market or walking through a park, when suddenly, everything around you seems to shift. The buildings change, the architecture transforms, and the people seem strangely out of place. You might brush it off as a hallucination or a dream. But what if this wasn't a figment of your imagination? What if you had just accidentally stepped into another time period, perhaps hundreds or even thousands of years in the past? Throughout history, there have been countless reports of people who claim to have slipped through time, sometimes only to return to the present moment later. It sounds like a plot from a science fiction movie, but these cases are disturbingly real. These individuals come from diverse backgrounds, have no apparent connection, and their stories, though different, share one common thread: an inexplicable journey through time. Today, we're going to explore some of the most compelling cases of accidental time travelers. We will also delve into the underlying science and theories that attempt to explain these astonishing accounts. Prepare to question the very nature of time and the boundaries of human experience. Medieval Times Square, in the bustling city of Madrid, Spain, nestled between the Grand Royal Palace and the historic Almudena Cathedral, lies Plaza de la Paya, a quaint square adorned with cobblestone streets and charming cafes. For centuries, this square has been a hub of activity, a place where locals and tourists alike gathered to soak up the vibrant Spanish culture. It was here one day in the early 2000s that a peculiar incident occurred. Two Canadian tourists, Daniel and Clara, were strolling through the picturesque square, enjoying the lively atmosphere, when they noticed a group of people gathered around a street performer dressed in medieval garb. Intrigued, they joined the crowd. As the performer juggled flaming torches, he occasionally glanced at his watch, a peculiar anachronism amidst the archaic attire. Daniel found himself inexplicably drawn to the man's enigmatic persona. As the show concluded, Daniel decided to approach the performer and inquire about his unusual timepiece. The performer, taken aback by the question, seemed momentarily confused. He responded in a heavily accented Spanish, claiming to have found the watch in an antique shop. Daniel, unconvinced by the evasive reply, continued to question him. Suddenly, the performer's demeanor shifted. He looked at Daniel with an intensity that sent chills down his spine and abruptly walked away without another word. Daniel and Clara, unsettled by the encounter, decided to leave the plaza. As they turned to go, they noticed something extraordinary. The surrounding buildings, which moments ago had been modern tourist hotspots, now appeared to be medieval structures. They turned back, hoping to retrace their steps, but soon realized that all the streets around them were narrow, winding alleys lined with old buildings. They had seemingly stepped into a different time zone, transported back to the medieval era. In a panic, they searched for a familiar landmark, but everything around them was foreign. They found themselves in a labyrinth of history, utterly lost, and with no way to contact the outside world. Desperate, they started walking, hoping to stumble upon a friendly face or a sign of civilization. After what felt like hours, they came across a clearing. To their astonishment, they found themselves in a bustling medieval market. Stunned by the scene before them, they stood frozen, taking in the sights and sounds of this bygone era. They saw vendors selling wares from makeshift stalls, heard the clip-clop of horseshoes on the cobblestone streets, and witnessed people dressed in medieval attire going about their daily business. It was as if they had stepped into a history book. Overwhelmed, Daniel and Clara tried to blend in, hoping to avoid any suspicion. They bought some food and water and observed the townspeople. They tried to communicate with them, but their modern Spanish was met with puzzled looks and murmurs. The language barrier only added to their sense of isolation, making it feel as though they were truly stranded in a distant past. Days turned into weeks, and their modern clothes and bewildered expressions made them stand out, attracting unwanted attention. Their limited food supplies dwindled, and the reality of their situation sank in. They were trapped in a medieval village, with no way to contact the outside world or obtain sustenance. Suddenly, a breakthrough. A kind-hearted woman approached them, sensing their distress. She took pity on them and offered them food and shelter. Through gestures and basic phrases, they managed to convey their predicament. The woman, moved by their story, offered to help. With her assistance, they were able to sustain themselves and slowly adapt to the medieval lifestyle. Weeks turned into months, and they began to feel a sense of belonging in this unexpected time period. However, their joy was short. One fateful day, while exploring the town, they stumbled upon a notice of a royal decree that ordered the expulsion of foreigners. Fearful of what awaited them outside the town, they knew they had to act fast. With the help of their newfound friend, they prepared for their journey back to the future. Using her connections, they obtained disguises and forged documents that identified them as nobles from a distant land. Under the cover of darkness, they left the town, hoping to avoid detection. They traveled for days, always looking over their shoulder, never quite sure if they were being followed. Finally, exhausted and desperate, they reached the outskirts of Madrid. As they emerged from the woods, they saw towering structures that looked nothing like the medieval buildings they had seen before. They had unknowingly stumbled back to their own time, the familiar streets of Madrid around them. Reunited with their own time, they shared their incredible tale, forever changed by their experience. Their story became a local legend, a reminder of the perplexing mysteries that lie hidden within the annals of time. Time warps in the sky. Aircrafts, marvels of modern engineering and technology, soar through the skies, connecting distant destinations and enabling global travel. Yet amidst tales of turbulence and technical difficulties, there are accounts of something far more extraordinary. Pilots have reported instances of their planes mysteriously disappearing only to reappear moments later, sometimes in entirely different locations. These stories aren't mere flights of fancy. They hint at a terrifying possibility, suggesting that our understanding of time and space might be more fragmented than we think. Imagine you're on a flight, seated comfortably beside the window, the hum of the engines lulling you into a state of peaceful relaxation. Suddenly, the world outside the window changes dramatically. The clouds part to reveal a sky filled with unfamiliar constellations. Buildings, vehicles, and even clothing styles below indicate a vastly different era. It's as though you've been transported to a different time and place. These temporal shifts, though unsettling, have been documented by numerous pilots, each account offering a glimpse into a reality that defies conventional explanation. Some pilots describe their aircraft vanishing from the sky, only to reappear minutes later, at a completely different location, sometimes even at a different altitude. Others report encountering thick fog banks that seem to act as portals to other times, allowing them to peer into historical periods before returning to their own time. Such occurrences challenge the very essence of our understanding of physics and chronology. Are these pilots experiencing genuine time slips, glitches in the space-time continuum? Or are they merely victims of elaborate hoaxes? Perhaps there are more natural phenomena at play. Maybe these pilots are unwittingly tapping into natural time warps, regions of space-time where the laws of physics bend and distort. However, this theory raises more questions than it answers. Why do these time warps occur? How can we predict their appearance? And why do they seem to target aircraft? It is possible that these incidents are merely hallucinations brought on by factors like hypoxia or carbon monoxide poisoning. But if that's the case, why do the observations of multiple pilots coincide so closely? Do these pilots hold the key to unlocking the secrets of time travel? The unsettling accounts of pilots traversing through time remain a tantalizing enigma. Whether these stories are factual or fictitious, they serve as potent reminders of the mysteries that still shroud our universe. Perhaps there are aspects of reality that our current scientific understanding is ill-equipped to comprehend. Maybe time is not the linear progression we perceive it to be, but rather a complex, multi-layered phenomenon that defies easy. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for more fascinating content. Thanks for watching.